Well, we've kind of covered pretty much all of our lives, but as we've gone along, we kept thinking of other things.
Yeah.
So here towards the end, I think we'll have just a lot of miscellaneous things that keep coming up, and they may not be in any particular order, but I think they're fun things we want to share with our family. Um, While we were in Idlewild in 1991, the Lord led us to take 9 months and move to Germany. And wasn't that great?
Oh, that was a wonderful trip.
It really was.
Met so many wonderful people,
Uh-huh.
gotten to so many different places and different homes, and
Mm-hmm.
tasted different kind of food. And
Yeah, and the friends we developed there.
oh yes,
Yeah.
remember little Dory
Uh-huh.
in Switzerland,
Yes.
and climbing over that mountain to get up to her place
Uh-huh.
that had no road there.
Yeah, we hiked for hours, it seemed like.
No electricity in their home, but the home was just darling.
It was. I think
Yeah.
we have a picture of that. We'll have to show sometime.
Yeah, her parents
It was a dollhouse.
were there. It was
They
like
were
a
so cute.
dollhouse.
And
Her parents were just like two little dolls sitting on this bench out in
Yeah.
front of the house when we came up.
her father played the saw for us. It
Yes,
was beautiful.
and Joni sang.
Yes. You know, I was thinking also how God worked in another wonderful way in our lives. Before we went, we had arranged to rent a house in Germany, and everything was all worked out. It was going to be really expensive,
Hmm.
but we figured, well, we'll make it. And so we planned on that. Thought everything's all set. The day before we left, we got a call from Germany, and they said that house isn't available, and we have no place for you. And they said because East Germany had just opened up, that just nothing was open.
Mm.
Everything was taken, and we had to decide: do we go on faith or do we cancel this
Mhm.
trip? And we prayed about it together and talked, and we decided to go, not knowing if we'd have any place to stay. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember. It was kind of scary.
It was. And we didn't know if we'd have to turn around and come right back.
Yeah.
But we got there, and uh, a dear couple who were, I guess, supposed to be the richest people in Germany,
Mhm.
they heard about our plight, and they had an apartment that they used for missionaries. It was really the top floor of a big home,
Mhm.
and they let us use that.
The
And
whole time.
it was so wonderful, and
They paid for all the expenses of the place.
everything,
Yeah,
every
yeah.
penny, even the telephone,
Yeah.
everything. And so
Our
we had,
telephone calls to the States to our girls.
yes, so they had,
Yeah.
what a provision that was. In fact, it was such a blessing that other place closed up, because it was going to cost us pretty much everything we had to live in that one.
Yeah.
They were the names were Schaefer, and they were such precious friends too, even though they
Mhm.
were very rich.
Yeah.
We used to go to their house after church, and
We were told that they were the richest people in Germany
Yeah.
at that time.
that's right. He had factories in 28 countries.
Mhm.
He started in his garage
Yeah.
after World War
But
II.
yet they lived in just a very humble home.
Yes, that was really good. And during that time, we got to work quite a bit with OM, Operation
Mhm.
Mobilization. We got to go up to Holland and be there for a week in their yearly conference.
That was a thrilling time.
Yeah, and then I got to speak to about 500 of them in a Easter thing. Did some teaching, and then we got to go to their big Love Europe campaign, where there were about 5,000 young people from 28 countries, and we had a ministry with them. So we had a lot of neat possibilities and,
Mhm.
opportunities. We I think we went to Switzerland about 5 or 6 times during that 9 months, and Austria and all those other places. Galen and her husband came over, we had a week with them, and then Joy came over and with her husband and Joni, and we got to travel all around. That was really fun.
Oh, it was really exciting for us, and I think for the girls and their husbands too.
It really was.
Mhm.
Imagine how good God has been to us and all the things that we've been able to experience.
Anyhow, the house where we lived, where it was provided for us in Germany, the people downstairs were Laney and Edish, Rochtenstein, and they were the sweetest, most wonderful couple that we could have ever met in Germany.
They really were.
They took care of us, came up to see if we were okay every day and if we needed anything, and their grandson after college would come and see them, and then he would always come up and
That's
see
right.
us and ask if there was anything he could do for us,
Yes.
and his whole family. And
Well, they just made us a part of their family.
yeah, we were
Yeah.
invited to picnics, to weddings,
Everything.
every kind of celebration there
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Church.
And almost every afternoon, if we weren't going somewhere, Laney would invite us downstairs, and we'd sit
And have tea.
Tea or coffee,
Yeah.
and these wonderful homemade bakery things that she made.
Oh, yes.
They became such precious friends.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
They were.
We always thought the Germans were cold and hard and unfriendly, and we never got hugged more any place in the world than we did in Germany.
That's right.
That was,
Yeah.
No, we came back from Germany and went back to Idlewild, and that was when we started getting ready to move to Colorado Springs. Then something happened. I went to get a PSA test with the urologist.
Just before we left
Right. And
California.
then after we got here, we got word that I had prostate cancer. And that was kind of a shock. And yet,
to say the least.
yes, but it's been okay for us. It's been, what, maybe 17 years that I've had the cancer. And I've been on hormone therapy now for about 3 years, and it's pretty much under control. The hormone therapy gives me fits once in a while, but other than that, I'm just grateful for good health. That was a blessing.
And I praise the Lord for it too.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be here.
that's right. You know, as we look back over our lives, I think one of the greatest joys and blessings is some of the wonderful things we've done with our 3 daughters, and when they were adults.
Mm-hmm.
I think about, I'm not sure what year it was. It must have been around, let's see, 2002 or so. We had extra money that we got from a lawsuit, and so we took all 5 of us, Galen, Joy, and Joni, and you and I, and we went to England. We rented a car, and we traveled just all over England together.
That was a trip of a lifetime.
It really was. Just another wonderful time together was on our 50th anniversary. What did we do then?
In Cabo San Lucas?
Yes.
Yeah. With all 3 girls and us.
Yes. We had a week down there,
Mm-hmm.
and we,
A nice home
yeah,
that we had rented.
right above the water. And,
We could look down the ocean.
we just had the best time there with us. Yeah. And then the third time that was so special was my 75th birthday, when we went to a Christian conference center here in Colorado, and we had every single person in the family was there except Jonathan.
Yes.
And we
had this whole conference center to ourselves.
We did. They provided the meals. We had a beautiful area to be in, and we just had so much fun with the kids.
Yeah.
For some of the cousins, it was the first time they ever met each other.
That's right.
That was really wonderful. Now I was thinking too, going way back now, when we lived in Guatemala, a couple of incidents. One is when we needed a place to stay in Guatemala City when we came in for workshops and other things. We didn't have a place to stay, so we decided when we went on our first furlough up to California, we bought a mobile home. Remember that?
Lived it in the States.
Yeah.
And then,
And we lived in that for 6 months. And then we hooked it up to our Suburban, and we drove that critter to Guatemala all the way down. And that was really some trip.
how long was that trailer?
It was 35 feet.
Yeah.
And at that time, there was no freeway through Mexico City. And so here's a city of about, I don't know, but then 5, 6, 7 million people. We had to drive straight through the center of the
With
city.
that huge trailer.
That trailer. It was
Mobile
hair-raising. Well, we have a lot of other things that we want to share with our family, and things we haven't mentioned. They kind of go all over the place, but we want to get these in because they're very special memories to us. What was it like for you when we lived in the city part of the time, Guatemala City, and then we lived clear up in San Sebastian, and going back and forth? And how was that for you?
It was always a wonderful adventure. That's mostly all that I knew. You know, what married life and family life was like.
Yeah,
And
it was.
I loved it. You know, I think the trips in and out of San Sebastian on that horrible road, that was the hardest part for me.
Yes. Do you remember that time when we went down the hill and then there was a hurricane and we couldn't get back up and we were stuck for 10 days?
Oh, yeah.
But it was not all bad because we were in Huehuetenango where the kids were and staying in the school. But
Yeah.
that was quite a landslide.
Isn't that when we went to Mexico?
That was a different time.
That was a different, hurricane.
Yeah, I want to share some about that. But yeah, that for me that was the hardest, is the trip up, driving from Guatemala City to our village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that terrible headache I always got because of the high altitude there.
That's right, boy. Yeah, going from 6,000 feet just straight up like this to 11,000, then back down to 7, and then back up to 11, and back down.
Yeah.
It was quite a trip.
Now, didn't you not have a road at first, and then the president came in to visit you, President of Guatemala?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
I forgot
right.
to do that.
Yeah, when we first went there was no road. We drove our car. At first, we drove it to an old abandoned lead mine, and we left it there. And then we had just left it out there on the side of the dirt road, at
And
the end of the road.
All the time, the months and months that we left it there, no one touched the car.
Yeah, that was really God's care. They didn't touch anything on it for not a scratch or anything for all those years. And then we had to walk. It was generally the best we could do it in 4 hours, and if there wasn't too much mud and stuff.
Yes, and Galen was always on some man's back, and she was, I think she was almost 99% happy doing that.
She was content, and Joy was too.
Yeah, and then when Joy came along.
Yeah, Joni didn't have to do it because we already had a road. So. But remember how we got that road? Remember that?
Yes, I remember that. When the president of Guatemala came into town.
Yes.
He saw these white people there among all these Sioux Indians, and he told one of his bodyguards, he says, go invite who are those people? That's what he asked first, and they told him that we were missionaries there. And he said, well, go and invite him over to have dinner with me.
Yes.
And we sat there
in the town hall.
Yeah, having dinner with the president, with Galen there. Was Joni there? I can't remember.
Joy was there, yeah.
Joy was there, yeah.
Remember, I think he was holding Galen, and he was holding her during part of the meal, and she got her muddy feet on him, and he just kind of laughed. That was really special.
Yes, and then he says, how do you, towards the end of this meal, he says, how do you get your family in and out of
Uh-huh.
this village?
Yeah.
And we told him the story, how we left the car at the end of the road and
Uh-huh.
we walked in and all the details of it. And he says, oh, isn't that hard for your family? And we said, no, you know, it was just something that we needed to do. And he said, well, I'm going to see what we can do about that.
Yeah.
And the very next day after he left,
Uh-huh.
there were surveyors up there to put in a road to our town.
That was such a miracle, how
It
slow
was.
things usually go, and the next day, he must have told people, whoever it was, I want that road now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like our own private 7-mile driveway.
We were the only car in town.
Uh-huh, we were. That was really, really a neat experience.
How did he get there?
We,
Oh,
uh,
How did the president get there?
well, they fixed up the horse trail, and they took Jeeps in, and so, that worked out. There was a horse trail, and you could, in dry weather, you could get a Jeep over it, but you almost had to have it fixed every time because of the rain and all the mud and everything. So he was able to get in.
yeah.
You think of any
Indeed.
special times or any things you really remember about Guatemala City when we used to go down?
Well, I remembered that we had a place where we had more modern facilities, and we had
Mhm.
friends there, and that was always good. We
Yeah.
had American government friends that always had us over for dinner,
Yes.
and
Hmm.
two different couples that
Yeah.
we became very close to.
Uh-huh. You know, it really meant a lot to us
Yeah.
when we had no one that spoke English other than just us, our little family.
Mhm.
And then to be able to go into the city and talk with other people and
Mhm.
play cards and just spend time, go out to dinner, and that was special.
Yeah, those were really good times.
Yeah. And then we'd buy our groceries and take them
For-
all back up there.
Usually around a 3-month supply of groceries.
Yeah. And then we used what we could in the village. We could get, what all could we get in the
Different kinds of
village?
vegetables. There were fruits and vegetables. There were a lot of bananas.
Uh-huh.
Oh goodness, I can't
Oranges?
remember. Yeah, there is a lot of oranges.
Yeah, and avocados.
Oh, wonderful. Penny a piece.
Yes.
Or sometimes 2 for a penny. And most of the time the people just brought them to us as
That's right.
gifts, along with tortillas and that kind of thing right
Yeah.
off the...
We got lots of eggs right out of the chicken. The little kids
Oh,
would
yeah.
bring them to us right as soon as the chicken would lay the egg. They'd come running over with it and want their 2 or 3 cents.
They'd still be warm.
Yeah, it was really funny. Yeah, they love to do that.
Yeah.
Then we I don't remember how much we said about our furlough in 1962 in Malibu. Maybe we'll just share a little more about that. When we got there, we didn't know where we were going to live. We didn't have a place, and Chuck and Theta Jordan said we could live in an apartment above their garage, a beautiful little
It was
apartment.
above their
in-
house, actually.
Yeah,
I guess,
that's right.
guess the garage was there too.
Yeah, in Malibu.
Mhm.
Malibu, which in a very exclusive canyon there where Nat King Cole and Barbara Streisand lived
Were-
right up the street from us.
Yes.
and had a private beach,
Mm-hmm.
and we were there for about 6 months. They provided that for us.
How many acres did they have?
There, I'm not sure. They probably had, I would guess, 5 or 6 acres right in Malibu, and that was really they were so good to us at that time.
Oh, they really were.
Yeah. And then we talked about our second furlough, and especially our trip around the U.S. We got to take the 3 girls, and we just went around the whole U.S. We went to New York.